Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. Hello, everyone. Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Jacelyn Holmes. She is a singer, songwriter, and actress based right here in Toronto. How you doing today, Jacelyn?
I'm great. How are you doing, Brad?
I'm doing very well. How's your morning going so far?
I've got coffee, and I'm lying down in my robe.
So you're all set to go then.
I'm slightly relaxed.
Well, that's good. Relaxation is good. So let's jump in here. So your style of singing has been dubbed as more adult, contemporary, jazzy, and bluesy. I would have to say, having listened to your latest stuff, it definitely has more of a jazz feel, in my opinion, to it for sure. How do you feel about labels in terms of your music or vocal stylings?
Well, I think that labels are really great for people to kind of have their set expectations. But from an artist perspective, I like when I break or surprise the expectations that the listener has.
Yeah.
So, you can read the word jazz and have a negative experience with that music, or maybe have an opinion about it, and then you come and you listen to my music and it has jazz elements for sure, but I think a lot of people get surprised by how much they go, wait, this is like neo soul, or oh, there's a rapper in this, or what artists do you listen to that are jazz artists that are swearing and have a hip hop artist on their track?
Very
and
true.
Explicit. Very few. I might even say none. So, yeah, go ahead and put me in a box, but I am going to be the Jack in the Box and come out.
I love that. How long have you been performing?
Well, I am a child actor. That's how I got started as a child actress when I was 2 years old. So I guess I've been performing. I turned 35 this month, so 33 years.
Wow. So it's in your blood.
It's in my blood. I have been performing since I was a child, but it kind of depends on what medium. From the performing side of acting, it's been since I was a child. Stage has been since my teens, and then singing and performing my songs has been since 2010.
Okay. Now, did you grow up in a musical home?
No, I did not.
Wow.
Nobody is musical. There was always a baby grand piano in the house growing up, and it's still there. My dad played piano, but never really when I was growing up, and still to this day, he knows how to play, but he doesn't really play. So,
wow.
It was just me.
Did you learn how to play piano yourself?
I'm learning it right now.
Oh,
I actually had an impromptu performance on Saturday night. I went for a walk downtown Toronto. I was just kind of, in one of those moods where I was a little restless. I'd already finished my evening. I was home. It was 11 p.m. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to grab my phone and my keys and go for a walk. And I ended up in Little Italy. Yeah. And you'll like this story, Brad, because it involves one of your previous podcast guests, Jessica Gorlicki.
Jess.
So I went walking down and I ended up in Little Italy. So it was about an hour and a half walk from my house.
Yeah.
And I see there's this art gallery that's kind of open.
Yeah.
And I see a painting right at the front that looks very much like Jessica's art. And I was like, I'm going to cross the street and just confirm my,
yeah.
vibe. And I walk into the art gallery, and sure enough, there's Jesco's piece. I take a photo of it and I send it to Jessica and being like, hey, and we were just talking that morning, so it was funny and timely. And I turned to the left, and there's a piano which is lit up with candles, and it's always been a dream of mine, even though I play other instruments, to just be able to walk up to any piano and sit down and just like blow people away with this like, secret power.
Yeah.
And I got my wish that night, whether
Awesome.
I wanted it or not, because somebody had recognized me. She's like, oh my God, she's from Venezuela, so I'm going to do a Spanish. Oh my God, your name is Jacelyn. You're a singer from here. I heard you 9 years ago and I got the goose pimples. You should play right now. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never played piano for people in public yet. I'm just learning. And she coaxed me, and I sat down and I threw it down. I made some mistakes, but what a beautiful feeling to just like be able to sit down and play.
That's awesome. Well, there you go. You accomplished one of your dreams.
I did. I just like am relaxing it as I'm talking to you. I'm like, hey.
That's amazing. So you sent the picture to Jess?
Yep.
Awesome.
And she's like, that's my stuff. I'm like, yeah.
Jess is awesome.
She is. She's a wonderful friend and artist. I love her so much.
Oh, she's hella talented for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So who are some of your musical influences?
The musical influences I have are Jewel was when I first started looking at guitar, and that Pieces of Me album was such a beautiful piece of work. Then it goes back to when I started singing lessons. I really dove into what my coach wanted me to look at. And I love Carole King. I don't know if some listeners know who she is, but yeah, I love her. And then it goes to I'm a vinyl head. I have a ton of vinyls, and I love to kind of put them on while I'm cooking or just dancing around. And that goes with like Marvin Gaye, Diane Summers, Etta James. But my favorite record is the Rumors album by Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, that album is amazing. Her voice is just wow.
And the writing, and it's just hit after hit on that album. So yeah, I'm widely influenced from, Shania Twain to literally Drake. It can just be an instrument, a lyric, a beat, whatever. I just get inspired by all different types of artists and music.
Now, what type of music do you like listening to when you're sitting at home and throwing on the albums? As you said, what other types of stuff do you like?
So in this current moment, I have Donna Summer's vinyl art like that I was listening to the other day, and Marvin Gaye is always there. Like he's just always in rotation. But then when I throw on Spotify or, YouTube or whatever, recently it's JoJo. Her new album is phenomenal, and I've been waiting for her to come out because she was under really bad contract and they didn't allow her to release music properly. So she's finally free, and I'm really happy to support listening to her, and I think that she's really got a great voice. And so yeah, JoJo is what I was listening to. And that's pretty much it. I mainly listen to vinyls, and then when I'm not listening to music, I'm creating it more than listening to it.
Yeah. Now, I read that you had a Kickstarter campaign to fund your debut album, and it did incredibly well. You reached your goal in 16 hours and became #1 in the world as the most popular music campaign on a Kickstarter. How did that feel for you?
You just brought a huge smile to my face, because sometimes as an artist, an independent artist, you forget to stop and smell the roses and like remember that that was only a year ago, right?
Yeah.
And the project is in process of releasing, and the album hasn't released yet. And I'm blown away by that accomplishment and reminded of it. But as an artist, sometimes you're like, you don't have time to think or celebrate or revel in that, because you need to keep hustling. What's the next project? That kind of feeling. So thank you for reminding me of that, and all the amazing, beautiful supporters that I had. It was an incredible feeling to do my first Kickstarter campaign and just have record-breaking stuff happen. And then we doubled what we asked for, right? So
wow, just incredible.
Yeah, it was just shy of a few $100s of $60,000 and the album cost us close to $50,000 to do, with all the promotion and marketing stuff as well. So yeah, it was, what a blessing to not have to go into artistic debt.
as we so often do as artists.
I know. So it's been just a wonderful blessing. So I'm so excited that each and every one of those people who supported me on Kickstarter, they got very special treatment, as well as they already have the album in their hands. And then now we have a pre-sale campaign that's going to come up soon, and then the album's going to drop. So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Well, I'm glad I could bring a smile to your face. That's good. It's nice to remember those little moments. I mean, it's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Now, you also co-wrote a #1 hit on country music charts in Europe, and this song caused you to launch your country. Are you smiling again?
I'm smiling again. I'm like, oh gosh.
This song caused you to launch your company, Our Song, which custom writes wedding songs for couples. Can you tell us a bit about the company and how long it's been in existence, and tell us about the hit?
Yes. Unique time to launch the company officially, which was this this February, just before COVID, when weddings all of a sudden became non-existent. So needless to say, it just has taken a bit of a pause and a pivot, and that's okay, because we're all just in that state of mind right now, just trying to figure out how we're going to create a better, not a new normal, a better normal.
Yeah.
And the company is really simple, and it's the most magical experience. And it came out of a place of need, I guess. I kept getting asked to sing at friends' weddings or like write songs for their wedding gifts. Mm-hmm. And it started actually with my sister's wedding. Okay. And so I decided, well, wait a second, this is something that could be done, and could be done at a level that's different than there are some people that are offering this service out there, but not where I wanted to take it, which is we take a song where we interview a couple, and we get into asking very specific questions, much like you would do on a podcast. Yeah. But it's very private. This is an intimate space that you're invited into, and it requires a lot of vulnerability and trust in order for us to get a song that gives such an emotional response from the couple to their family and friends, where literally there's not a dry eye in the building when you present the song, whether it's live or a radio ready songs essentially recorded. And it's specific enough that it is the couple's song, and they're gonna have this like a family heirloom. It can be passed down through generations, and it will live on forever. But at the same time, it's still relatable to the masses. And then I have access to anyone from, acoustics recordings to a full-on symphony. So I am able to do whatever they need me to do, depending on their budget. And then we pitch the songs to other artists or They've been in film and television, or then they chart like this one. So this one was Born to Love You, and it's a country single. I wrote it in Nashville after being at my girlfriend's wedding. I said I would write them a song, and for their first year anniversary, they got the cut of it. And then a few years later, it got picked up by this artist, and we changed the perspective to be a male perspective instead of from the female perspective, and made it Donovan Lee Carpenter's song. And then he took it, and not only did it go number one on the country radio Europe charts, but it became 2019 top 100 country wedding songs. Wow. It was number 40 something, like with Garth Brooks, with Shania Twain, with all the big names. Awesome. And reached, I think, around 200,000 views on the lyric video for wedding songs and stuff. Yeah, it was really, really cool to see. And more importantly, the couple are such a huge country fans for them to see their song take flight like that. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Amazing. And that's the beauty of art.
Absolutely.
Mixed with love, right?
That's got to be a great feather in your cap for you too, to be charted with these big name country artists from a song you wrote. I mean, that's got to feel amazing.
Yeah, it's great. I'm very happy with the idea and the concept, and now anyone can reach out to oursongwedding.com and get their own custom song.
What a brilliant idea for a company, though. That's amazing, because as you said, this is not a gift that that the couple will get and it just sits in a box in their house in the basement somewhere. This is a song. This is a gift that, as you said, they can pass down from generation to generation, and it can be enjoyed and loved with each generation. What an amazing idea for a company. I love it.
Thank you. And the other thing I love, where couples have reached out to me years later, or just like recently, saying, we were in the middle of fighting, and then on the playlist just popped up our song, and we're like, oh God, we cannot be fighting right now. And we're just like, oh, we made up. And we're like,
awesome.
This song just comes up in our lives on, our playlist, or like someone says, hey, I was listening to the song, because what we encourage the couple to do is to send that MP3 song, whether it's out yet commercially or not. Yeah. They can send it to their family and friends that attended the wedding, and what a special gift to be able to pass to your family and friends. And then they add it to their music playlist, and they're reminded. It's a very special thing. It really is.
For sure.
Honored.
Absolutely. So you've also gotten the attention with this company for some pretty big names in the wedding industry. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah. I mean, what do you mean exactly by that? Well, like that we were in the Bridal Guide magazine?
Yeah, things like that.
Okay. Yeah. So we just had a really big spread, and there was a cover on the cover of the magazine for the Bridal Guide magazine. Shout out to them. They're so wonderful. They basically were at the same wedding conference, or just kind of like open house, and I was invited to perform some of the songs I've written for some couples. And it's a very unique experience. Everyone's quiet. People who are getting married are crying because they're like, this is so beautiful. The magazine editor just walked up to me and he said, I need to put you in our magazine. I need you on the front cover of your company name. And I was like, well, it's not even full-on company yet. And he goes, well, get on this thing, because this is unbelievable.
Make it happen, right? Jacelyn.
Yeah. So they're the reason why I created it, I think, into a company, is because, once you've got some people wanting to support you and put your name out there and share this idea with the wedding industry, you just kind of jump in. So, and then Wedlux just recently had their big convention, the luxury market, because this is more of a luxury add-on, essentially.
For sure.
So we got invited to go there and just kind of be a part of the community there and see what's going on. And we were just so well received again. It's a very unique thing. So you're not really in competition with anyone.
Yeah.
And actually you find ways that you can collaborate. Like one of the things we did was we talked with bespoke men's tailoring for their suits, and we thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if we put the lyrics from their song inside the jacket in their pocket?
Interesting.
Or in the handkerchief, there's a lyric, their favorite lyric on the handkerchief sewn in. And all of a sudden these things that are clothes, which are less meaningful, become more meaningful.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Brilliant. Now, you've also done some extensive touring and performing, been on concert bills with some pretty big names. Can you tell us who some of these artists you've played with are?
Sure. So we just had Canada Day. So one of the biggest concerts I did, and it was the same bill as Keith Urban, Blue Rodeo, Johnny Reed, Virginia to Vegas, the Julian Taylor Band. There's been some really great festivals or concerts that I've been invited to play on, and this was the Stars and Thunder Festival, and I've been invited back 3 years.
Awesome.
They didn't have it this year, obviously, but and it's got fireworks. It's a fireworks competition that brings people from all around the world to compete, and then they have these great, amazing bands playing, and it's the third largest festival in Canada, and a lot of people don't know it's happening in Northern Ontario, but it's a great time, and I just feel so lucky to be a part of that. Now, that was a very interesting time for me because I was transitioning from country music to more adult contemporary soul and jazz. So you're like recording an album with jazz musicians in New York City, but then you're going and you're playing your old stuff and country music. And people don't know what's going on, but you just go and do it, right?
Yeah.
You're booked like a year or two in advance for these things, and you just kind of have to go and ride the wave. And so
how did that feel for you, being on stage, like sharing the stage with some of these big names?
I guess it's the same as when you go into a recording studio, and someone's like, "Oh, the microphone, I haven't even switched it out. Do you want to use the same one that Robert Plant just used 2 days ago?" I'm like, yeah, I do. Thank you.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's the same feeling where you're just a little bit like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
This is cool. Right. But at the same time, they are just people, when I met Keith Urban backstage, he was just a really nice man and had a great smile and good energy about him, and just walked up to the group of musicians that were chatting in a circle, and we're all just having a beer and hanging out. And
cool.
Yeah. They're just regular people, everybody.
True. How was that transition for you, going from country to jazz, soul, blues, kind of? How did that transition come about, and how was that for you?
Well, for me, I'm still writing. You had Nicole Ray on your podcast.
Yeah.
So we just finished writing a song that I hope she releases called, wait, you know what? I'm not even going to say what it's called because that's hers now.
Yeah, no problem.
So we just finished writing a country single for her.
Okay.
So the transition is I just don't perform really. As a country artist, but I still write country music for other artists, with other artists. So it was a very easy transition. It's just I've elevated into and evolved into the performing artist that I I'm called to do, you know, like,
Yeah.
and who knows what the next few years will, you could find yourself full circle and going back to country. I don't know.
True.
You know? Like,
just ride the wave and go with it, right?
Yeah. I'm just trying to be listening to my authentic voice inside myself and being 100,000% myself. And if that means that I am no longer interested in performing country music and wanting to explore and do more jazz and soul and R&B, then I'm going to do that, you know?
Yeah.
So that's sort of how
you roll.
Yeah. Like my compass is just what's going on for me and trying to be the most authentic version of myself. Right.
Mm-hmm. Now, you had just said that you write country music for other artists. Can you tell us who some of the artists you've written with or for? And how did writing for other artists come about for you? And who was the first artist you wrote for? Do you remember?
Oh, gosh. The first country artist would be... I don't even remember her name anymore. Oh, dear. Okay, and then there's a folk artist, Angela Saney. She's shout out to her. We did Breakdown Walls, and that was on her third record. And it's always great when you run into the artist because you're both booked for something. We were both booked for a backstage Juno TD Green Room concert in Calgary.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not hoping that she plays the song I wrote, but she played it. And, you know, it's so cool that it's like, I just finished performing and then 2 artists later, she's there, I'm in the audience, and she's like, oh, Jacelyn and I wrote this song and it's my current single, and she's in the audience and you just heard her perform. What a great thing, right? Is that then people are looking at you a little bit differently. And then, you know, a few people came up to me after saying, hey, I'd like to write with you. So, and I guess that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
And then most recently I wrote with Nicole Ray. We've written a few times together. And then sometimes songs I write by myself, and then an artist is asking to write with me. And I'm like, well, I have this song that might be good for you, and I'm open to rewriting it and kind of opening it up for you. And it just depends. I've worked with a lot of different artists. There's this one guy, his name's Dan, and I'm going to forget I'm the worst with names, so I really do apologize. He's in Nashville, and he's got an amazing voice, and we wrote this song called Belt Buckles, which is basically this song about bull riding and how you get the big belt buckle when you've ridden a bull for 8 seconds or longer and won, right?
Yeah.
And you just kind of roll with it because you don't know what's going to happen. It's like a blind date, right? You're just, it could go really well or not. You could write a hit or you could write a flop.
Yeah.
And you just kind of roll with the punches. So I love writing with and for other artists, but sometimes you get into a writing situation that you're writing for another artist and you realize that you actually want to write this song for yourself. And it's so strange because no takesy backs.
That's right. That's right. And so that leads me to wonder, how different is it when you sit down to write a song for another artist as opposed to writing for yourself?
Well, I just try and learn as much about them as possible. And then I ask, you know, what is it that we're writing for? Are we writing for a specific record? Is the sound that you're going for changing from your previous single or record? And then we kind of just sit down and talk about what it is that they want to do and what do they want to say and what are they looking for, and usually that gives me enough information where I'm like, okay, we're not going to write another love song here, we're not going to do this, and I kind of actually go at it from what we're not looking for,
right?
And then from that place I'm able to just cultivate the vibe and the energy and the subject matter, and then try and, almost like an actor would, I need to be Nicole Ray.
Right.
I need to be Nicole Ray, and I need to be in touch with her listeners. So therefore, I kind of get into a vibe like, I'm Nicole Ray, and I'm going to help Nicole Ray write this song, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
I like it. You're stepping into someone else's world, you know?
Yeah, yeah. What is your process when you sit down to write a song for you?
If people were in the room when I was writing a song for me, whether I'm in a co-write or by myself, I think they would be blown away with how I approach a song very similarly to a rapper or like a cypher, like a group of cypher rappers, where I want to find a beat or a melody, and then I can literally freestyle through a song. And we might not use all the lyrics that come flying out in the moment. And then we'll be editing a lot, or we'll take chunks from, whoa, that was really cool when you just flip the cadence to this.
Yeah.
And we found a vibe there, and then run with that. So I kind of do a bit of like lyrical vomiting, I guess. And
that's an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah. And then we see what happens, and then we vibe off of something. And I've even been thinking lately that maybe it might be really cool to videotape or like tape record some of these sessions, because when people are in them just kind of observing, or they're in the room, they get blown away by like what is able to happen on the spot. And they're like, wait, is this a song you're already working on? I'm like, no, this just was happening now, like a jam, right? So it's a different process. I think that when I get into songwriting sessions, sometimes people, especially when it's in person, not so much over online writing sessions, is that other lyricists in the room or writing session are just like, oh my gosh, slow down. I can't keep up with how quickly you're writing the song, you know? So everyone has their strengths, and mine is definitely just able to pull out these lyrics from wherever they live inside me. I don't know.
Right. How long have you been writing songs for? Do you write both music and lyrics, or just lyrics?
All the above.
All the above. Okay.
Melodies, lyrics, music. I mean, I play the guitar and ukulele, but I wouldn't say that I played them proficiently, and I'm learning to play piano. I don't know how to read or write music traditionally, so when I look at music on a sheet, like sheet music, but then I bring enough to the table that I'm able to work with the symphony, and I've been working with the symphony, Scarborough Symphony, and we're working on a Christmas project. And if someone had asked me, like, would you have been able to think that you'd be working with classical artists and jazz, where they're very heavily relying on sheet music and not being able to read music, I would have laughed. But here I am, you know? And so for me, it's whatever you want to contribute to a vibe in a songwriting session. If it don't put yourself in a box of you're just a lyricist. No, like for me, it's, I've got something to add or contribute, whether I'm going, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want to hear it with a pizzicato here, or let's try it with a xylophone, or let's do a horn section layout here. That's an amazing thing when you hear it all in your head, and then you just do your best to describe the vision of what it is, whether it's through lyrics or a melody or just like a hook. Yeah.
Have you met any of your musical idols? And if so, how was that? Because I've heard that you should never meet your idols. A lot of the time you'd be disappointed. So has that been, I mean, first of all, have you met any of your musical idols?
Most of them are dead.
Well, then I guess that's a no.
That's a no. I have high-fived Shania Twain at her own concert. I have smoked a joint while listening to Stevie Nicks for the revival tour of Fleetwood Mac's tour. So I've never met them.
Yeah.
I really haven't met anybody that I consider an idol, and that's a hard one. I don't really consider any of these people idols.
Well,
to
admire
me.
Then for lack of a better term, admire.
I don't know. No, I really haven't met anybody that I wanted to admire and meet, I guess. Yeah, okay. I haven't.
So did you have a light bulb moment that you just knew you had to be a performer? Was that like, what was that like if you did? And how old were you when that kind of hit you to say, I've got to be a performer and that's it? I mean, I know you were I'm talking about musical because I know you said you've been in the acting world for a long time and on stage as well, but in terms of musical performer. Right.
Yeah, so my initial reaction to that question was no, it just sort of happened because I was a child and I loved performing and playing. Like, you know, my niece said the other day, she grabbed my purse and she's 3 and she's like, I'm going to work. And I said, really? What do you do for work? And she's like, play. And I'm like, that's right. That's exactly, she's going to be an artist, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I imagined that that's how I probably saw it, was I am going to play for the rest of my life. And here I am, you know, in my 30s and I'm still playing, and how lucky am I to do that? So for me, musically, it did take me by surprise. Because I had this identity for so long as being an actor, and you know, at that point I was directing as well. I was helping assistant directing like Shaw Festival productions, acting with Shaw and Stratford actors, as well as lots of TV and film and voiceover credits. And so, and you know, just had finished a 4-year degree in performance and all that stuff. So you have this clear identity and clear path. And then all of a sudden I was secretly kind of writing songs and learning instruments, but felt almost a little bit like I can't really let people know that I'm doing this because that's not my identity. And then having a moment where I was just compelled to sing and share while I was at a party with a bunch of musician friends, and to see the reaction of people going, what is happening? And then they're like, did you write that? And I was like, yeah. And just so many questions from people being like, I just got chills. I never knew you could sing. I never knew you could play the guitar, let alone write. And again, I was sort of pushed into it because they were like, no, you need to record these songs, you know? And other friends that were musicians kind of helped covertly to get me recording in the studio. And again, I was just having fun and playing and not thinking anything of it. And then I guess when I was up for a bunch of awards on the very first song I ever put out, kind of haphazardly, I was like, oh, I think this is cultivating all the things that I love to do in one basket. Because the acting is, here's your script, go. Whereas I'm creating the script as the songwriter, and then I get to either jump into something that is my own experience or someone else's experience, which is essentially playing a part. And I think of the songs as almost like monologues, but to music. And, you know, I had a show last night and I sang a song that I love, that I wish I wrote, which was Leaving on a Jet Plane by John Denver. And two of the other songwriters, we do a songwriter circle series once a month that I host, and I invite different songwriters on, and we tell the stories behind the songs that we've written. And I ask them to sing something they're inspired by as a songwriter, another songwriter. And I finished singing that song, and one of the girls just said, "You have an incredible way of telling a story. Like, I feel like you are that story, that character or something." And I was like, I think it's from the acting, you know? So yeah, it just kind of all happened and bubbled over. So it wasn't an aha moment. It's just like this creative expression just keeps evolving and getting bigger, right?
Yeah. To date, what would you say is your biggest high or your greatest win?
I guess it's the Kickstarter campaign. Like, it just blew me away, and it blew everybody else away as well. So I'm in the process of releasing that project, so it's still evolving as well. So yeah, that was such a huge high for me. Numbers don't lie, you know?
Yeah. What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
Resilience. Completely being graceful with the amount of no's and failures, and getting back up and pivoting, and just kind of doing that.
So, Jacelyn, what are some challenges that you faced early on in your musical career, and how did you overcome them?
I think that there's a path that we see, which is attached to this idea of success, which is, I'm an artist, I need to get permission or visibility or recognized by a major record label, and I have like the booking agents all, and then I get success, and then I'm good enough, right? And on my journey, that's kind of what I was coming up against a lot. And then finally I just had to be like, you know what, why am I going to put the idea of my self-worth as a human being as well as an artist in the hands of basically a corporation, right?
Yeah.
To define that I'm good enough. And, you know, I don't know about our listeners out there, but I think a lot of people in general, whether you're an artist or not, we do come up against that feeling of not feeling good enough, you know,
for sure.
And I think that's always been something that I've been coming up against just as a human being, but also as an artist, is what defines that. And really, I keep coming up against it going, I'm the one that's putting those limitations on me, and I'm the one believing what I've been brainwashed to believe or buying into that. And the more that I strip that away and then just take full accountability and responsibility for what I want to do, and not having to answer to anyone else, then beautiful things like an unbelievable Kickstarter campaign that got the attention of a lot of those labels. And I did get certain offers. They just weren't good enough for me to give up my company, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting thing. And those are really big challenges, because at the end of the day, it's the music business, or it's a business. Acting is a business. And sometimes, as we said at the beginning of this interview, is like, you know, you don't want to go into debt as an artist, because it's very difficult sometimes. But how much do you put on the line, you know? So when you do take a big risk and a gamble, I was at that point where I was in an incredible amount of debt for my art. And then I decided to do the Kickstarter campaign, and it saved me from everything, essentially, right? So, but it could have gone the other way.
Yeah.
Right? It definitely could have gone the other way, which would be, again, butting up against that feeling not enough territory. So, yeah.
That theme, I notice it keeps coming up. It keeps repeating in the last few interviews I've done where we're talking about this kind of thing and we're not feeling good enough. And I think, and what I've found is that we tend to get in our own way so much. And that is our biggest problem, I think, as humans, is we've got to learn to get the fuck out of our own way sometimes, because we are our biggest obstacles most of the time. I mean, yes, of course, there's external noise from other people, haters and people that don't support you or believe in you. But we ourselves are our biggest obstacle or hurdle. We have to learn to get out of our own way. And that's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to learn, but we need to learn it in order to, I think, advance and flourish as people and achieve the greatness that we all can achieve, because I believe we all have something that we're here to do and some greatness that we can achieve. It's just we prevent ourselves. We are our own worst enemies.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I'm not sure if I would use the word of an enemy. It's more so like to be so loving and compassionate and caring, which we often are to our own family and friends and even strangers. But yet when it comes to ourselves, we forget that we need to support ourselves in that journey of healing and getting out of our own way so that our superpowers can shine and help others heal in our magical ways of being and sharing and cultivating and creating and existing together. But also to relearn how to do that. So you get out of your way this time, and then you find a new way to get in front of your own way.
That's right.
To relearn how to get out of your way again. And it's this peeling back the onion all the time, right? So
yeah, for sure.
I think so. I think, and you know, we definitely have different things that come up at different points of our life that do inevitably affect our work or our lives in positive ways and maybe negative ways too.
Yeah, so. Very true. What would you say was a turning point in your life, and how did it affect you?
It's a big one. About 4 years ago, I was working with a recording studio called Rose Room Studios in Toronto. And I was helping marketing and managing other artists, including one of the artists on that recording studio kind of label, I guess. And then I was helping with I landed the opening slot for this band to open for the Gypsy Kings across North America on a crazy tour. And at the same time, I was kind of like doing my own thing as an artist, but not really fully committing to it. I was always helping other artists or working other jobs and kind of not fully committing to doing it myself. And after working that job and seeing what I was able to do for other artists, I thought, I need to do this, and I can't have a safety net, and I just need to go for it, and I need to make my first debut album. I need to do this. I have to do this. So I quit working for everyone else, and I got out of the lease of my townhouse in the beaches, and I sold everything and put a bunch of things in storage, and I got my guitar and my ukulele, and I booked a 6-month music tour and took everything I could from Central America to the Bahamas to China to the Philippines. And then I wrote, recorded, and found my producer in New York City and just did it. And I left. And for 3.5 years, I was living out of a backpack or a suitcase in between New York City, Toronto, Bermuda, and then all the contracts that I had gotten from different tours I set up or shows or corporate companies that were hiring me. And I learned that no matter where I went, I was going to be able to do this. It wasn't always going to be easy. And then I forced myself to really learn my instruments and understand how to choose songs, understand how to perform acoustically or with a big band. And then all of that stuff flourished and was a big game changer for me, because that's how I did the album and then the Kickstarter and then working with the symphony. And it all kind of happened while I was jumping and just expecting that and having faith that the net would be there, and then get on this river rapid of just flow and following my gut. And that's how it all.
That's incredible. That takes a lot of balls to do. I mean, I applaud you for that. It's not a lot of people have the courage or guts to do that. So amazing.
Right? And there were times where it was literally so scary. Like, I remember I was in Panama and I was on tour, and I was at the Jazz and Blues Festival in Boquete, and my old drummer walked through the door in this small town, and then I was hugging him, and I had left my purse on a stool and it got stolen. And the only thing I had was $250 American in my passport and my safe in my hotel.
Yeah.
And credit cards, money, everything gone.
Oh,
and I'm on a tour, and I've got 2 guys with me that I'm paying for everything for them. And I had to just, be like, it's going to be okay. And I will play shows on the street just to get extra money if I have to be able to not only pay their wages, their food, their hotels, make it to the next thing, pay for their flight. I just, you just kind of hope the universe is going to be there for you. And then there was times where I was, paying for recording time in New York City and realizing, oh my gosh, I'm going to go into credit card debt because I can't afford this. But I need to get it done. And and it's going to be okay. And just having that belief that that the universe is going to support you, that people will come forward. And, in that experience when I was in New York City, people didn't know my financial situation, but I had specific artists just volunteer to come on the album absolutely for free. And I was blown away by their kindness and their generosity.
Amazing. See, things have a way of working out. You just have to, I guess, believe and put it out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. What a story. Holy shit. What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
Saying yes. Yes. And honestly, I have this thing where I'm more open to talk about it now, but now I'm like, oh gosh, if I talk about it too much, then people will be like, you're the yes girl. It's an inspiring thing when you just allow yes and flow like this, just follow the vibe and the energy and not overthink it or get in your own way, essentially, and just be open to inviting the experiences to unfold in front of you. And I do this thing, which is what happened the other night when I played piano and kind of lived my own little dream, even if it was in front of only 12 people. I go on a walk. A lot of times I do this in new cities or towns or places I've never been where I'm by myself. I get inspired by just complete strangers and things, and it's easier to do when I'm by myself. I've done a yes night or day with a friend, and you have their limitations and their judgments and criticisms and things like that in the way. So mine has really opened up to just knowing that the most amazing things are going to happen when I just kind of say yes. And so I just follow the night or follow the day. And it's other people that inspire me. So if a homeless man's like, will you buy me a burger and have it with me? I'm like, yes, I will. You caught me on a great day. And then you start sitting down and realizing this person just has some mental health issues and has an amazing story and was a doctor in a different country and like da-da-da. And then 2 hours later, you're on a yacht with the Prince of Monaco because you said yes to somebody else who's the chef of this thing, you know, and I've literally ended up in different countries by saying yes. And that inspires my stories. You know, actually the song I put out called Foreign Affairs was a yes night I had. And I was in France, but I ended up in Monaco. And at the end of the day on a yacht that was owned by the Prince of Monaco.
Wow. That's wild.
Yes, it is. So just say yes.
Just say
unless
yes.
you feel unsafe.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, always. Oh, you got to have safety for sure. But yeah, just kind of let the day or evening unfold and just kind of roll with it.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
When you get too set on your plans and your expectations that can really actually limit you.
Yeah.
That's when you miss all the golden nuggets that are all floating around you. And it can really just be so amazing and so freeing to just follow that flow.
And say yes.
But it's hard to do it sometimes. It really is.
I'm sure.
It's like flexing a muscle. You got to get used to that feeling of not knowing what's going to happen, feeling slightly uncomfortable, but also it's an exhilarating kind of adrenaline high as well.
Well, what do they say? Nothing good comes out of comfort zones? Something to that effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
Success to me is pretty simple. That you feel authentically yourself and the best version of your authentic self, and you're expressing by way of whatever it is you're doing, whether it's expressing yourself as a doctor or as a artist or whatever it is, or a podcast interviewer, it doesn't matter. And it's able to generate an income so you can support yourself and possibly more than that, right? So you're in your flow, you're in your love, you're in your best version of yourself, and you're able to cultivate a living from that. But I also get asked this question a lot, and then I have a more material thing. My idea of success, like real true success for me, is when I have my own driver. Because I don't like to drive unless it's like a fun sports car and it's a, manual and I'm driving and I'm having fun, because then I can like wear heels and just get in the car whenever I want, and then I don't have to wait, and I can actually read or do a podcast or work from the back seat. To me, like having that and someone to wash and fold and put away my clothes. These are such trivial things, but they mean a lot to me. I'm like, if I can get to a level of success where I have my own driver and someone washing it, I hate I don't mind doing the wash, but it's the folding and putting away is so difficult for me for whatever reason. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Something to strive for, right?
There you go, right?
What does the word empowerment mean to you?
It's sharing your superpower with other people, which gives them more power to do whatever they need to do.
Okay. What is the best advice you've ever received?
The best advice I've ever received. That's a hard one for me. I'm just so grateful for a lot of the guidance that I've received from so many people. I think, it's just sort of a thing that you hear a lot of people say, which is don't give your fucks away. And I think there's even a book that's I haven't read, but like,
yes, there is.
The Art of Not Giving a Fuck or something. Yeah. But like, that's too like aggressive for me in a sense, but it's sort of like this idea of like, choose your battles, choose the things that you allow to just consume your energy, right? And know that you have a choice. So that's a really important thing, because everything is energy. So you decide how much energy you put into it, and knowing kind of when to throw in the towel or just to not even give it your attention or to give a fuck about it, is really important, because I think we've all been there where we're like, how did I get here? And how has this consumed me so much? And wait a second, I can literally just change my perspective or put my energy somewhere else and not be in this situation anymore and walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What is one of your favorite quotes?
Victory loves preparation.
Oh, I like that one. I've never heard that one before. I like it.
There you go. I said it the other day to my friend. I said, yeah, the joy that you get. So for instance, not to bring up the Kickstarter again, but like people were asking me like, what's your secret? What was your, I'm like, we prepped for 9 months for that.
Yeah.
Underground. And we actually did a polls and research and like sent out messages and emails and getting people to like commit to pledging a certain amount before we actually went live with the Kickstarter. So we prepped the shit out of that. And then we knew that there was going to be a victory. We just didn't know how much.
Yeah.
And then it even blew us away.
Yeah.
You know, because we had prepped so much for it. The same thing with this album. I prepped technically 6 years for this project. And then I repivoted and then had to find new funding and then, you know, wrote songs for it and then trashed those songs and then so yeah, preparation equals victory. It really, and it's not always a scientific thing, but yeah, the more you prepare, the more you'll be victorious. So hopefully that
I love it. I'll have to use that one day. Who would you say have been the 3 most influential people in your life? I
kind of bulk my family as like one person, I guess, right? So my family is so supportive and my parents are just unbelievable, like advisors as well as friends. And that's an incredible thing to have as an artist. And I'm starting to get very emotional because I love them so much.
Yeah.
Have you had anyone cry on your podcast yet?
No, I haven't actually. But that's okay. Go. Crying is good.
That's fine, yeah. We're getting into this stuff.
That's right.
So, yeah, my family is amazing, and I love them so much, and they're so supportive.
That's amazing. I mean, a support system is absolutely key. So that's good that you have that great support system in place.
Yeah. And I would say I've been lucky enough to have a handful of mentors. The most recent one would be Ronald Royer. He is the symphony director for the Scarborough Symphony, but also has worked on things from Sound of Music to Lady Gaga and has been all over with his music. And he's from LA originally. And he's just really been a trailblazer to see myself as an artist through his eyes is kind of a beautiful thing. I think that's when you get so inspired by other people, is that you see the way that they see you, and it's so much better than maybe the way you see yourself, right?
Yeah. And
you just want to step into the person that they see you as, or the artist they see you as, and that's a beautiful thing. So, and then I would say Judith Lander. She was my vocal coach when I was in acting, and then she just said, I think you should start singing, and I would love to teach that as well. And before I even knew I was going to become a singer-songwriter, I was taking just voice lessons and learning how to be Jacqueline's voice versus trying to be Britney Spears' voice or the so-and-so's voice. So yeah, those, and I still keep in contact with a lot of my mentors, and
that's important. Yeah. That's awesome.
And I also want to give a shout out to Doug McClement. He's an amazing sound engineer, and he's the vice president of the Harris Institute and does all the live studio kind of, like, he's done the Olympics, the Junos, everything. And he was kind of the first to like record me and push me to do this too. So there's just been, you stand on the shoulders of those that are great.
Yeah,
they lift you up. Never forget that. Like, never forget that. And then also take responsibility and accountability that you need to do that for other people. This is how it happens.
Yeah, that's right. It all comes full circle. Give back when you can, and it pays off for sure.
Yeah.
How would you like to be remembered?
Timeless.
I like that. Timeless. Never had anyone answer it like that. That's
one of the words we used for the album. I said, I want my music to be timely, but timeless. I want my art to feel timeless, that you can come back to it. That's the stuff that I like when I feel there's a sense of timelessness to the story, the film, the song, or a piece of artwork.
Yeah.
When it has that timeless quality, I keep finding myself going back to it.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
Love.
What makes you smile?
Pretty much everything. It's so funny. I was like, oh gosh, I'm always smiling. That's actually something that people always say. Like, when I recently was kind of having a conversation saying, like, I'm having to come up with some mental health stuff during this COVID time. They're like, shit, this is scary. I've never heard you talk like this or that, because you're always got a smile on your face.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so many things make me smile. I just really think that's like, show your smile, show you. It's you just opening up from the inside, right?
Yeah, and not to mention smiling is so contagious and infectious.
I know, it's so great.
It is. You can make someone's day completely with just a smile. Something so small can have such a huge impact.
I do that with such awareness and veracity, because I go out, the moment I go outside, I just want to connect with people, and I want them to receive a smile from me. And it's a way of, this is a little nugget of love, whether you want to receive it or not. It is going to be put out there for you, and pick it up or not, whatever.
The rest is up to you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about your career?
I guess it's like the thing that I love and the thing that I hate. Unpredictable. It's unpredictable. Like, I love that about it, but I also hate it sometimes. So it's an interesting double-edged sword, I guess.
If you were guaranteed the correct answer to one question in life, what question would you ask?
I think it would be, will I fall madly and deeply in love and have that kind of effervescent relationship that's like eternal, and I want to experience that. So I guess I would ask that question.
Okay. If you were to have a dinner party and you had to invite one musician, one politician, a famous couple, and a family member, who would you invite?
I would invite the Kennedys and Marilyn Monroe, just to fuck shit up. Because that would be fun. Marvin Gaye. Okay, wait. So musical is Marvin Gaye. Movie star is Marilyn Monroe. Political couple is Jackie, the Kennedys. So just to kind of, make things a little more hilarious there. What was the other one?
A family member.
Oh, my mom, because we would just be cackling the entire time at all of this stuff. And
awesome.
That's it? That's it? The dinner
That's
party?
It.
Oh,
yeah.
That would be a great dinner party.
That would be a very interesting conversation, that's for sure. Do you have any big projects you're currently working on or coming down the pike that you want to share with the audience? I know you had alluded to and mentioned you're working on your album coming out soon. So you want to tell us about that? Or?
So the album's called Dovetailing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the tracks on the album is called Dovetailing. And the word dovetailing is basically when things just connect and they're in unison, and it's just like this flow, beautiful intertwining of either you can say, oh, our schedules are dovetailing to like this relationship is just dovetailing, so it's this beautiful connection that feels effortless, and it's the kind of the way that I view love and relationships and even hardships, and it's all happening for a reason, and it's gonna dovetail the way it needs to dovetail. So I'm really proud of this album, and I worked on it with Amina Figueroa, who has 11 studio albums and charts in the top 10 jazz albums every time she puts out an album, as well as just inviting the New York vibe music jazz scene as the kind of core belly of the album, but then had all these wonderful things happen on the arrangements of the music, but also the decisions of songs to put on the album. So I can't wait for that to come out. It's like a bucket list dream, which is like, if I ever make one album and never an album again, this is it. So I pulled out all the stops. Amazing. And I can literally go to my grave knowing that I did this bucket list thing. There's a feature film that's coming out in the next few weeks, actually, called What If It Was Me? And I was cast as the lead's girlfriend, so I was in a supporting role. Okay. And then they chose the first song I ever wrote, called Speechless, to be in the movie as well.
Awesome.
So that's pretty cool.
No kidding.
For that to come out. And
that's huge.
Yeah, it's good.
Congratulations.
It's nice. Thank you. It's been a while since I've gone back to TV and film, and I just recently went back last year, and I booked 7 projects last year in film. Awesome. and it's a nice feeling to just be welcomed back into the community, and now I'm doing a lot of voiceover auditions because they're not doing anything on film sets right now, but a lot of voiceover stuff, and excited for my adult image as an actor to be coming back into that is exciting.
When does your album drop? When is it supposed to drop? Any ideas?
So this year it's supposed to be September, but because of COVID, we're just sort of rolling along and trying to just be in flow. And I really still hope it comes out this year, but we'll see. Yeah.
And finally, if you could go back and give your younger self, one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Stop trying so hard. And it's not I heard that growing up by every teacher, every mentor. They're like, the thing you need to get out of your own way is that stop trying. You're already doing it.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to prove. You don't need to try so hard. You are an artist. You are an actor. You are a singer. You are a songwriter. So just do it.
Yeah. Awesome. Great piece of advice. I love it. Jacelyn, thank you so much for taking the time to be part of my collective, my podcast, my movement. You are a true inspiration. It's been amazing chatting with you. Thank you for sharing a bit of your journey and giving us some insight as to your journey, your story, and your thoughts. It's been amazing chatting with you. You are truly an inspiration.
Thank you so much, Brad. What a wonderful compliment. And and I receive it. And thank you for that. And thank you for putting on this podcast so we can empower lots of fucking awesome women out there and,
yes.
and lift each other up. The last thing I want to say that's attached to my album is I love collaborating with other mediums, and I usually like to collaborate with visual artists, and I chose 10 visual artists that are females of different art backgrounds, and actually Jessica's one of the artists
of course.
that is featured. And they each listened to the album and they chose a song off the album that they felt inspired by, and then they created a piece of artwork from it. And the CD release is supposed to be happening in September.
Yeah.
And we were going to do it in an environment where we can actually showcase the 10 pieces of artwork and auction them off. And then they're part of the merch that we're doing, because you can buy prints or put them on bags or whatever. And that's sort of what's been making me like so excited, is that I'm seeing the artwork that these unbelievable artists are creating inspired by my music. And this is what it's all about, is like how you can, that's why I think I chose the word sharing for empowerment, is like just share in something and you will inevitably empower each other.
I love it. I think that's an amazing idea. You get other people, you're giving back, you're helping other artists to showcase their work through your work. I think it's an incredible thing you're doing, and you are incredibly talented. I've listened to your stuff. Your voice is just, wow, just beautiful. So just keep on doing you, and keep working on your music and putting that amazing music out into the universe. And it's just amazing. I'm honored to have you on the show as a guest, and to be able to spend this time with you and chat with you. It's been a complete pleasure, and I totally appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Brad.
Once again, my name is Brad Welsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Jacelyn Holmes. She's a singer, songwriter, and actress based in Toronto. Keep an eye out for her new album in September, Dovetailing. Thanks, Jacelyn. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and please keep in touch. We'll talk soon.
Besos, kisses.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast, and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.